So yesterday I posted the top assault rifles after the most recent update in Warzone, and in today's video I've got you guys with the top 5 SMGs after the most recent update. If you're interested in the assault rifle video, just check out my channel, it'll be the last video on my page. These nerfs and buffs were very big, and it's definitely shifted the meta by quite a lot, so definitely watch this and try some of these loadouts out. If you are new around here, make sure to subscribe. On the road to 80k. Whenever we hit 80k, we're doing a 5,000 code point giveaway. To enter, subscribe, notifications on, and then comment below saying that you want to enter. And also, drop a like, I'd really appreciate it. So the first weapon is going to be the MP40. They actually buffed this weapon for some reason. I don't know why, because it was already incredible, and it's already really like broken, one of the most popular SMGs in the game, but they decided to actually make it even better for some reason, so it's definitely one of the top SMGs to use. So the first attachment is going to be the recoil booster. This increases the fire rate, making this weapon obviously have a faster fire rate. Next up, we're going to be using the short barrel, and this actually got a buff in the most recent update, and now it has an increased bullet velocity as well as increased limb damage and damage range. So definitely a must-use attachment. Next up, we're going to be going for the ISO 1M iron sights, but you can use any other optic that you're comfortable with. I feel like optics are just personal preference, so use whatever you like. The next attachment is going to be the folding stock, which increases the sprint to fire speed and the movement speed, making this nice and quick. Then we're going to be using the skeletal underbarrel, which increases the ADS time. 45 round magazine, which is the best magazine to use by a long shot. This increases a lot of things: the recoil control, the movement speed, the ADS, and also the fire rate, making this SMG very good. Hollow point for the limb damage, stippled grip tape for the accuracy, recoil recovery, firing, recoil control, all of that kind of stuff, just making this thing nice and accurate. Perfectionist for recoil control once again, and then we have a quick for the increased sprint speed. This is the full loadout. Let's get straight into the next one. The next weapon on the video is going to be the Owen Gun. Once again, for some reason, this thing was already really powerful, and they decided to buff it even more, making it even more broken. So the thing that they actually done to this weapon was overall, they just increased the damage. So yeah, it's more powerful. I don't know why they do this, because it's already broken, but hey, it's even more broken now, so enjoy it whilst it lasts. It'll probably get a nerf pretty soon. We have the recoil booster once again, increasing the fire rate, and then we're going to be using the rapid barrel, which also increases the fire rate. Next up, we have the Model 47 optic. This is personal preference once again, but I really feel, and I would really recommend using this specific optic on this weapon. It is definitely the best in my opinion. Then we're going to be using the remove stock for the increased mobility. This does quite a lot for the weapon. It increases the ADS, the sprint to fire speed, the movement speed, and the aim walking movement speed as well. The first three are very important. The aim walking movement speed isn't really too important, but it is obviously nice to have. But the sprint to fire speed and the ADS and the movement speed, all of those three are really helpful. Then we're going to be using brace for the recoil control, stippled for the recoil control, 72 round Gorenko for the recoil control, and hand stop for the recoil control. These four attachments are very important because they all increase the accuracy of this weapon, because it does have quite a lot of recoil on it, so I definitely recommend using these four attachments together to minimize that recoil. Then we have quick for the sprint speed and lengthen for the ammo type. This is the full class. Let's get into the next one. Alright, so next up we have the OTS, which, let's be real, this thing will probably be meta for literally ages. This thing has always been good. Ever since it got released, it's been one of the top SMGs, and it still is untouched. They haven't really changed this weapon since it got released. It's really good. So you want to use the Grew Suppressor, which is going to increase the vertical recoil control, the bullet velocity, the effective damage range, all of that good stuff, making it better at range, which I know it's an SMG. You might be thinking, why does an SMG need range? But it actually really does come in handy. Then the Task Force Barrel, which is also going to increase the bullet velocity, the effective damage range, and the strafe speed. So basically what strafe speed is, whenever you're aiming down sight in a gunfight, you can move left and right whilst aiming down sight a little bit quicker, and you're going to be able to throw your enemy off guard because they're not going to be used to you moving so quickly. The next attachment is going to be the skeletal stock, which is going to increase the sprint to fire time, which is the most important thing that this stock does, and it also increases the movement speed whilst aiming, etc. The serpent wrap, increasing the ADS time and the 40 round fast magazine. Make sure you are using this magazine. All of the other ones are average, but this one is definitely the best to use. Alright, a weapon that I feel like is going to become really popular in the next couple of days is going to be the Sten. This did get a pretty heavy buff in the most recent update, and it was already pretty good, so this is definitely going to be used by a lot more people. So the attachments you want to use are the recoil booster and the barrel, which are both going to increase the fire rate, and this also increases the accuracy as well. We're then going to be using the SA32S optic, but you can use any optic of your choice. I just feel like these iron sights are super clean. Then the wire stock, which is going to increase the hipfire accuracy and the movement speed, making this thing nice and quick. Acrobatic and quick for the sprint speed and movement speed. Then we're going to be using stipple grip tape for the recoil recovery and the initial firing recoil control. This weapon does have a bit of kick to it because the fire rate is really quick, so make sure to stick on these attachments to reduce the recoil. 36 round magazine is the next attachment you want to use. It's quite a small magazine, but the reload time on this weapon is very quick, so it doesn't really matter too much, but this is going to increase the accuracy, the ADS, the movement speed, and the fire rate. If you wanted to, you could use the 50 drum. It's something you could use if you find yourself having to reload too much. Hollow point for the ammo type for the increased limb damage, and then we have the hand stop underbarrel for the recoil control. This is the full loadout. Let's get into the next one. Alright, so the final weapon in the video is going to be the Type 100. Once again, this got a buff in the most recent update. This was already a really good SMG, and it did get a buff, so it's even better than it used to be. The first attachment you want to use is the recoil booster, which is going to increase the fire rate, and then you want to use the rapid barrel, which actually got a buff in the most recent update. So the buff that this barrel got was an increase in bullet velocity, so it basically does more damage at those longer distances. It also increases the fire rate and the damage range as well. Next up we have the slate reflector. You can use any other optic of your choice though, this is just my favourite for this specific weapon. Then we have the folding stock, which is going to increase the firing recoil control, and then also the movement speed and the aim walking steadiness as well, so you can be a little bit more accurate whilst you're firing and walking at the same time. Acrobatic for the movement speed and sprinting move speed. Quick for the sprint speed, fabric grip for the mobility and the hip fire accuracy and the ADS, 48 round drum, which is going to increase the damage, increasing the time to kill, making this weapon very quick. Then hollow point, which increases the limb damage, and hand stop underbarrel, which is going to increase the recoil control. That is it for the video. That is the 5 SMGs I'd really recommend using in the new update. Subscribe for more and comment down below if there's any SMGs that I missed that you think I should have added. Let me know, and make sure to subscribe and enter that giveaway.